I think it's just a man's thing because I used to do that and I used to do it with church and church felt my marriage.
Come on now.
What do you mean by that?
Well, anytime something have to be done in a church, because I'm a deacon, I'll go for it. Boom. I don't care what time of night, all during the day. I'm there all day and, not spending quality time with my wife. And then it became to be a problem at the house. And I said, it's church, I'm a deacon. I got to do this.
I love you, I want you, I need you. Let's maintain our sacred waters.
Hey, it is me, Dr. Latisha Webb, and my husband William, and the Cartwrights. We have Vincent and Elise. We have been going strong, and check out the Cartwrights, honey. They have their Sacred Waters t-shirt on, and we are loving it, right? Because we are taking deep dives into ourselves so that we can create sacred waters in our marriages. And so we've been coming to you strong with Deepen the Waters. So we have been talking about devotion, right? Empathy, right? Effective communication. And on today, whatever time you're tuning in, we are talking about prioritizing quality time. So what does the word prioritize? Let's just start there, right? Because we be throwing out words and be like, okay, yeah, I know what that means. But when you make something a priority, what does that mean?
Oh, go ahead. Setting it first, that means that is the first thing on your top list.
Okay.
Nothing else.
That's right.
But top list, prioritize it. That means that's the first thing that you're going to do.
Ooh, okay. So when it comes to deepening the waters of our marriages, we need to make spending quality time with one another at the top of the list. Okay. Now, I know quality time for hubby and I may be different from quality time with you guys. So how do you spend quality time together?
I think I had said this before. Quality time for us is any time that we could come together and make the best of what we're doing and where we at. Our movement, where we go, just spending that time together and sharing with each other the moments. And I think that would be our quality times. I mean, our quality times become, spontaneously.
And I love, go ahead. Yeah, I love the fact that you said that, because so many times we think quality time is date night.
Or vacation.
Or vacations, right? And now for some people, you may have to have a regular date night because you guys may be very busy. You may be going in two different directions. You may have little ones. You know what I mean? So depending on the stage that you are in your marriage, then date night is going to look spending quality time is going to look different. And it may not necessarily be a date night, or you may have to do a date night. I know for us, date night doesn't really work.
We come up with something.
Right. Spontaneous. It's like a spontaneous.
I mean, and that was something that you, William, we struggled with, because I'm like, no, like we need to do this, and he would always like, babe, I got something to do. We're going to have to cancel this. And I'm just like, wait, what?
Right.
Like, I was on we put it on the schedule. Like, how do these other things get in the way? And his first response would be, babe, this is money. This is money. Let me go make this money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then he would want to make it up by buying me some soul food. You know what I
It worked for a little bit.
That worked.
Okay, he'll go get the money. Be like, all right, baby, I'm gonna come pick you up. We're gonna go get something to eat, you know. And yes, it will pacify a sister for a little while. But still, it's like, if you're going to prioritize quality time, don't be an Indian giver. Don't renege. And he would do it so many times in the beginning that it just started planting these seeds of resentment. You know, because I did not feel like I was important. I didn't feel like I was number one, and everything else took priority over me and us and the quality time. And it was so many things that muddied the waters. Putting business before the marriage, putting family before the marriage, ignoring my requests, and when we would have effective communication. So I thought, expressing how I felt. And at that time, it appeared like it went through one ear and out the other. Or he just wanted me to simply just understand, like, babe, we're in business.
See,
go ahead.
I missed that whole point. And a lot of people out there probably heard the scenario of you saying, baby, I gotta go get that money. And probably maybe the female or the male is saying, what's wrong with that? But I missed it. There's something you're missing when you don't prioritize.
That's it.
A commitment, a time for you and your wife. You're not missing anything. I thought I was going to miss something. I thought I was going to miss an opportunity. I thought I was going to miss some money. I thought I was going to miss an opportunity to enlarge myself, to increase my favor. But I found that when I stick to the commitment of the reality that we have defined in our marriage, all of those things continue to follow. I didn't miss anything. As a matter of fact, I gained.
You gained.
I gained that because people begin to respect that. I didn't know there's no respect that.
Right, and I used to say to him all the time, I'm like, you are in control of your schedule. People, like, we would have tenants call us 1 o'clock in the morning. Yo, such and such happened. And he would literally get up out of the bed at 1 o'clock in the morning to go deal with a tenant. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you make your schedule, you set the boundaries, and no matter how many times I said that, he was like, no, I gotta go get this, I gotta go do this. Well, we're in the beginning stages of business, so this is what we gotta do. And I said, no, the way you start something, it sets a precedent and how you will continue. You gotta set some boundaries in place first.
Well, let me throw something out there. Just to be fair, the one tenant was in the process of getting ready to kill the tenant in the back room.
Well, that was just one time. He did have a machete.
He had a machete.
He did. That was one time, y'all.
Right.
That was one time.
That was one time.
I just want to throw it out there. Sometimes it makes sense.
I think it's just a man's thing because I used to do that, and I used to do it with church, and church felt my marriage.
Come on now.
What do you mean by that?
Well, anytime something have to be done in a church, because I'm a deacon, I'll go for it. Boom, boom. I don't care what time of night, all during the day. I'm there all day, and not spending quality time with my wife. And then it became a problem at the house. And I said, it's church. I'm a deacon. I got to do this. But then I started realizing is God first. Family second.
Then the church.
Then comes the church. And when I started doing that, it got better with our marriage. And that's where prioritize comes in when you just let everything else come behind that.
Right.
Everything else is not
Worthy.
well, it's not worthy, but it's not important.
Okay.
It's not important enough to leave what you already had put in place. And nothing else cannot take that out of place to put something else in that place.
That's right.
That becomes to be muddy waters.
That's muddy waters. That's muddy waters.
Yeah, 'cause you know what I used to say to him. You know what I used to say to him?
Video E.
I used to always tell him, "What, you gonna just church yourself to death?"
Ooh,
With that, so what about me?
Yeah.
You going every time church? Hold up. What about your wife?
That's right.
Yeah.
I think I seen you out there. You went to not too far from here, doing some work on the outside one time.
Probably was.
Westminster. Yeah, Westminster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Us West Philly folk, you may know about Westminster. Wow. Yeah. So I think for us now that we have cleared our muddy waters and we are continuing to create and maintain our sacred waters is, for me, the most quality time, or the best, or the priority, I don't know the right words, is when he listens to me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And I don't know why, like, tears getting to well up, because
Not big.
I'm not saying that he did not listen to me, but I was going through so much emotionally with being new marriage, new as an entrepreneur, new city. I'd only been in Philadelphia for like a year, like almost 2 years. Everything was new. And I just needed him to just listen to me. And to his defense, he did, but he felt like I just was saying the same thing over and over again. And what he realized was like, okay, you're experiencing some trauma.
Yeah.
Because you keep talking about the same thing and there's no resolve. And I'm like, I gotta keep talking about it until I get a resolve, and I haven't got a resolve. And like, you're my husband, you're my friend, like who else? And it wasn't necessarily stuff about us, just stuff in general that I needed to talk to. But like Esther Perel stated, you guys know I love Esther Perel.
Yes.
I quote her all the time. She said, now in these days, we want our husbands or our spouses to be everything. Years ago, people lived in villages where you had your parents, you had your this, you had your this, you had your that. Your spouse wasn't your one all be all. Now in these days, we want our spouse to be our spouse, our lovers, our friends, our workout buddies, our business partners, our therapists, our counselors. We want our spouse to fulfill so many roles in our relationship. And it's just like, we don't even have the capacity to like handle our own stuff. Why do we put so much weight and responsibility on our spouse?
I remember you when you told me that. And I remember you finally said, like, right at that breaking point when we were holding on to a worn out string, and right before the string snapped, I remember him saying, you can't come to me. I can't help you. You're gonna have to go get some therapy. You're gonna have to go get some help. He was like, I've listened all of these years. I've tried. I don't have it in me. I don't have it anymore to support you through your stuff. I'm going through my own stuff. And it just so happens, which I've shared before, he said that at the time where I was suicidal. And so the timing was so devastating to me. And I'm just like,
really need help
Yes.
because it was just one thing after the other, and things just kept piling and piling. So it may have started off with one thing I was having an issue with, but
Right.
because when you're in business and ministry and everything is going on and happening
It's a
so
burden.
fast,
It's a big burden.
and you can't decipher
Right.
what's wrong now.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
You know what I mean? And that's when people say, like, well, what's wrong now?
You can't. You don't know.
You
You're
don't-
not sure. Everything is going boggling through your mind.
And it's
How are you
so
supposed to
fast,
know? Exactly.
and we're not
Yes.
slowing down, and we
Right.
keep adding more and more and more onto our plates, and I can't breathe, and I'm dying, and I'm overwhelmed, and it doesn't seem like it's coming to an end, you know. And he was like, "It doesn't end. This is what we."
Life keeps going.
Yeah, he was like, "This is what we."
Life
Set out
keeps
to
going.
do.
Right.
So I definitely, want one of you guys to jump in here.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, I guess it was us coming together. The becoming of one is what I like to
Right.
call it. Where
Exactly.
we were beginning to really understand some things. Like I had no idea what trauma was, even though I was a trauma victim and had experienced some trauma and had some symptoms of trauma.
Right.
I did not recognize it as trauma. And so when my wife came along and she began to she had the need to talk about the same thing over and over, I didn't know that was a symptom of trauma until I studied.
Wow.
Individuals who have trauma, there's a part of the brain what's that part of the brain? The frontal cortex that is damaged because of trauma.
Yes.
And they need to say stuff over and over. For example, have you ever seen a person who will come to you with a problem
Yes.
and you give them an answer? 5 minutes later, they're saying the same thing to
Same
somebody
thing
else.
over. Wow.
And then 5
Yeah.
minutes later to somebody else.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later on the phone talking to somebody else about the same thing. And you're like, I thought we had a resolve. And sometimes you feel like,
Why you waste my time and talk to me and
Yeah.
people just gonna talk to all of these
Yeah, but
other
sometimes
people?
that's necessary to repeating yourself over and over again to get an understanding about what they're trying to express to them.
right?
You know, that's important to understand the trauma that you had to discuss with someone else. Because nobody knows what a person goes through. If they hold it in, then what? You put more trauma to your heart. So that's important. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
To let go, let out, just be open. If you have to scream, do whatever you can to release that. Yeah, that's important.
And I think now, as we have matured and grown and really understand each other just as people and made a commitment to love one another, he listens to me.
You know what I think it is? I hear you.
Ooh.
Because I was listening before.
Oh, that's true.
But now, instead of being listened to, you are being heard.
Oh my God.
That's the difference.
So, my husband, he's an excellent listener. He really listens to everything and hears me. That's important to me. Because if I go back, he will repeat. I used to get upset when he said, "But you said." But he's repeating what I really actually said because he's listening to me and he heard me, what I'm saying. That's important.
Yeah.
Well, with me, I get twisted with the hearing and listening. Because sometimes you can hear a person, but you don't listen to a person. And then other times you listen to a person, but you don't hear what they say. You hear them jibby, but it's like, and your mind just go, but you listening to it, but you don't hear it. And I get confused with it, but and sitting here, I was just thinking, it must be certain times where you hear but don't listen, and then other times you listen but don't hear.
Yeah.
It is.
Wow.
And let me tell you the difference. When you're listening to someone and they have been heard, then you respond differently. When you are hearing someone and you feel like they're not listening, it's because after you have spoken, after you have said what you said, after you have asked what you have asked, the person doesn't do it. They're not listening.
So let me take you to scripture. There are several times that you will see in the Bible, oh, he who has an ear, let him hear.
Yeah.
Okay? And when you have, and it's talking about that spiritual ear,
Wow.
not the natural ear,
Right.
Yes.
because you listen with your natural ear,
Right.
but you hear with your spirit.
Wow.
Right?
There you go.
And when God talks to you, he talks to you with a still small voice.
That's right.
That's it.
See, the enemy is always giving us noise
That's right.
to listen to, which are distractions.
That's
Of
right.
course.
But when God speaks, you hear him.
Wow.
Now are you going to listen to what he has said?
And follow instructions. Because then, and it goes back to what you were saying. Because when you hear, oh ye who has an ear, let him hear what thus saith the Lord.
Right.
So it means that after you hear what the Lord said, pay attention.
Yes.
Because after you hear this, there are some instructions for you to follow.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so when Webb was like, I listened before, but I hear you now because I am doing what you need me to do
That's right.
now because my spirit understands you and my
Right.
spirit hears you.
Right.
Wow.
So he's prioritizing that.
Exactly.
He is prioritizing it. I'm telling you, that's what it boils down to.
Yes.
You prioritizing that, what
Yes.
you just said.
Yeah, no, that's really, I just got an epiphany. Thank you.
I mean, he's prioritizing.
Once he prioritized me,
Yes. Don't.
he began to hear me.
Exactly.
Before, when I was not a priority, he
Right.
only listened.
Oh,
That's right.
no, go.
That's right.
Wait.
They stepped me up in trouble.
I don't know, that was
That is deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I better stop listening to him.
Yes.
Better make that priority.
And how you can tell somebody's listening is if they do,
Right.
if they respond differently.
Or receiving.
And I think the response too, because everything that we do is a spirit behind it.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
And there's intent. And
Oh. Hold on, man.
so
Get yourself. Wait. Get yourself.
William wanted me to just support him in business and all of his business endeavors.
Yeah.
Right? Every single one of them. He not only wanted me to support them, but he wanted me to be right there with him in the car, going to meetings, doing this, doing that. So when I was like, well, what about me? You know, I have the Authentic Love Experience. I got the Authentic Servant Leadership Award ceremony. And he would say to me, all right, I'm going to do this. But I'm doing this because I'm going to show you
How to support
how to support me.
Right. I know it sounds bad.
No. Or I'm going to call you a ninja for the world
Wait a minute.
to hear me call my husband a ninja. And I was not going to say ninja, okay? Okay? Not right now.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
Okay? But he didn't understand that I heard it and I felt it.
Mm-hmm.
That even though he
Yes.
was supporting me, it was conditional.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And he wanted me to support him unconditionally.
Right.
Yeah.
But he wasn't supporting me unconditionally.
Mm-hmm.
He was only doing it so I would not complain or have anything to say about supporting him. Conditions.
See, now my mindset at that particular time wasn't necessarily that way. I thought that I was showing my wife, this is how you support. Name anything and let me show you how you can multitask. Yeah, it was always a multitask. So I'm saying I can still do this and still support you 100%. Let me show you. Now that was okay. Let me finish. That was okay. That was okay. But I didn't know that it was, I didn't see that as a condition at that particular time. I mean, I see it now. I actually thought that I was showing my wife how to do this thing.
But what's so crazy is he felt like he had to show me. And I was right there with him every single day, day in, day out. I was already supporting him.
You see,
I was
sometimes
already
you don't see
in
the
it,
so
people
you
that's
don't
right
see.
beside you.
Right, exactly.
You
Sometimes
know,
your
because-
division can be blind.
Because it goes back to expectations.
There you go.
We have expectations of what another person is supposed to do or what support looks like. And sometimes it's based off of what we think, what we have done, what we have saw. But some people, their 30% might be a 200%.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes a person may not be able to give you what you give, but they're giving you their all.
That's it.
And
And you
that's
have to recognize that. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry about that. And that's how we came up with the capacities to love. So if you guys have read any of my articles on Medium, it's Sacred Waters by Dr. Latisha Webb on Medium. And we talk about the 8 capacities to love. And I think we're on part 6, right? It's like, do you have that raindrop capacity? Do you have a puddle capacity? Do you have a stream capacity? And so each type of body of water represents one's capacity to love. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just relating to love. What is your capacity to give?
That's right.
What is your capacity to support?
Right.
What is your capacity to empathize?
All that's love.
All of that goes in it. And I realized that, we realized recently, we were out with another couple and we were having a very similar conversation. And I realized that William has an ocean capacity. It is boundless and endless, right? I have a capacity of a lake, right? Maybe a Great Lake, but a lake. So I don't have the same capacity that he has. And so when he began to accept my capacity and not view me as inadequate,
Or judge it. So that's what we do. We judge another person's capacity.
like, it's not in me. I can't give you what I don't have.
Right.
But I'm giving you everything that I have, and it's still not good enough. It ain't enough.
And you know how many people go through that? That's not just
Oh,
us
I
thing.
don't know. No. A lot of people go through that.
Yeah, because I was going to say, with me, that will be something that I will have to sit down and talk to my wife about because I don't know her capacity. Because with me, she know me. I'm gone. I'm like the, energized bunny. I'll go and she'll get tired, but she'll try to hang on in there with me. But I'm just still going. So maybe that might have been her last bit of capacity to the fullness. And I don't know. It's just like, okay, well, just do this. Just do this. Because before, man, I used to drag her everywhere. It's like, no, follow me this way, follow me. And then I get a little sad and like, you don't want to go with me?
Yeah. I thought the same way.
I'd be like, look, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Yeah. So that's something that we have to discuss.
Yes.
And where is her capacity and where's mine?
And you got to look at it in each area of life because our capacity, like there's so many things that he knows how to do. At a greater capacity than myself. But then there's some things that I can do, I don't want to say more or better, but at a different, capacity level, right? And you got to understand that each area of life, you're going to have a different capacity. And then that may change depending on the season that you're in your relationship. Like, I don't know if I could ever give him what I gave him before. That was 10 years ago, first and foremost. Right. So I have aged. I've gone through health problems. You know what I mean? We are at a different place in life. And it's just like I gave you till I was dry to the bone to help build the vision and the business, and I don't have that anymore. And I wish that I had that level of capacity, and of course we crashed and burned. So I wish I had that capacity with the wisdom that I have. Right. You know what I mean? Right. I would with the knowledge and the wisdom over the years. I'm like, but I don't have that anymore. And I have a different level of capacity, and I'm still trying to navigate and figure out what that is, as we have some contracts and waiting on some things to come through,
Yeah, we're still looking at how that's going to look once these opportunities manifest. It's even to the point, for example, if we are able to get this funding for this particular program, once that comes through, my wife is high ranking in the organization. So it's something as simple as this. Maybe we will develop a remote position for you. You don't even have to be, it depends. Let me know what your capacity is, because now I'm aware. Wow. I'm aware, and I don't have this expectation that she has to be up front with me all the time, going hard and going to every meeting in the city of Philadelphia.
And surrounding counties.
You can zoom in.
I can zoom in, yes.
Even if it's a speaker. That's the capacity, and I am satisfied with that because I now understand that is her capacity. And she's given me everything that she has. You have to constantly check your expectations.
That's right. And you have to set your boundaries.
That's important. See, I think we're going through our seasons. So, like the regular season, summer, winter, spring, fall, we go through our season. So now it's time for us to take all those seasons and prioritize it. One by one.
Good.
That's right.
And that's going to take quality time for you guys to even discuss what that looks like and set the rules of engagement.
Set it.
Okay. So if that's while you're cooking dinner, while you're eating dinner, while you're washing clothes. Be very intentional about that, because it's even when you're talking about how we are going to set some things in motion. That's important too, because when you are communicating and you're vibing, even in that planning process, when you are flowing in unity, it's already like set in motion.
Yes.
Just because y'all are in the same space and vibe and aura, and like you say, don't disturb the groove, you know, and it's like it's already done.
It's already being put in place.
It's already being like set into motion and put in place, because our spirits are like coming together and connecting, and we are agreeing,
becoming one.
Yeah, definitely.
You're setting your zones. It's like you guys are in your zone. So now you already know what y'all doing. So now it's connecting together.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's already there.
Yeah.
Put the P in your relationship. Prioritize. Prioritize.
That's right.
What is it? P to the third degree.
P to the fourth power. That was one of my ideas that I had. P to the fourth power.
That's good.
Y'all owe each other sodas.
And I like what Vince said. Vince said something important. I don't want people to miss that. He said all quality time could be at any moment.
He did. You should say that.
Means that their quality time is at its very best in the present moment.
In the present. Wow, that's another P to the fourth power.
Present moment.
The present moment can be quality time for you.
Exactly.
Because it's all about your paradigm. Okay, since we on the P's,
right?
Don't get me started with some P's. I got some P words on there.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
You got six.
Yes. Because if you switch and shift your paradigm to recognize that all you have is the present moment, then you make the present moment the priority. How can we enjoy what we have right now? Washing the dishes, looking at TV, changing the diaper, going to the grocery store.
Wow.
I couldn't let that just slide past.
And I appreciate that. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, man, this is good. So I think this is all we have. So if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I am doing a 2023 reflections of gratitude. All right, so I'm going to be going on Instagram and Facebook Live every Wednesday in the month of December at 6 p.m. So get your journal out, get whatever you need, and we are going to come. We're going to vibrate high. I know for some Christian folks, y'all may be like, what you talking about vibrating? But hey, I understand vibrating high, and gratitude is a way that we vibrate higher. It brings us up out of our situations, and some good things happen in 2023. And sometimes we need to prioritize taking the time out to reflect on the beautiful things that has happened, so that we can end our year in gratitude and be in that mindset and that paradigm, so that we can enter 2024 with that same mode and that same spirit. All right. So another great thing that is coming in 2024 is my 5-day challenge. So I finally have my program, and yes, it's all P's. We are going to produce profits from pain. So what is that? I want to work with you women, whether you are married, separated, widowed, or divorced. You are an aspiring entrepreneur. You've experienced experienced some type of emotional pain from your marriage. You have made a decision that you're going to produce an additional funding stream and that you're going to take control of the narrative of your story.
That's right.
I am creating a product just for you that I'm going to create original artwork. And with that artwork, we're going to make your very own product. And that product is in the form of t-shirts, a journal, some greeting cards, and whichever one that you choose. But out of those three, I'm going to help you write your compelling story that is going to empower other people. Then I'm going to help you make your first sale. So you are going to turn your pain into power, products, and profits. So stay tuned for more information about that 5-day challenge. All right.
Yeah.
Bye. God bless you.